Hello world, 3:30, jog on, schedule out, write my intent for the day, say thank you, pack my bag for when the day gets hotter, bit of leftovers, so I have some breakfast in me, don't want to be driving when I'm not alert, 4 AM, heading off, start up the old beast, the temporary car until I manage to fix my 4x4. Spent hours on this, man. Absolute hours. On the timing chains, all the fluids, spark plugs, all the standard kind of stuff. Power steering, air conditioning, starter motor. I need to do the power steering seal kit because that's a leaking. But it passed the pink slip, so I got to register it for another 6 months. That's the important bit. The lock actually went, so I've replaced the lock on the driver's door today as well. There's the worst squeegee in the world, but I have found a use for it. I need to cut the teeth off so it doesn't crimple in the middle of the rubber blade, and then I'll be able to actually position that channel properly and it would work a lot better. It's a bit of a misty morning. This is my first drive off to the service centre. Just using my soft wash system. Without the Venturi gun on the end, just the soap dispenser. Good amount of water and soap on the severely fingerprint affected areas. Just releasing the pressure from the system into my bucket. And then go jump into the job. So yeah, all in all, it's not too bad a day this one. Had 3 jobs and a quote. And I'd put down in my book of intent that I would win the quote and get paid cash there and there, and do the job there and there. And hey, it worked. Just like I wrote in my book of intent that my car would pass its pink slip. Also wrote in my book of intent that I'd pass my firefighting test, and hey, I passed that as well. So happy days. I just used the mower man to do the edges here because I forgot to get some rubber blades and put new rubber blades in my squeegees, and she was a bit worn out. She was going to be leaving trails whilst fanning unless I slowed down to the point that it was happy. So I grabbed my rubber blades at the ute and came back with my servo done in the centres, and then I'll make sure I get my blades really nice and soapy so that they're going in the channel freely. So I have found sometimes with the dog ears, the way they clip on the end, I'll cut my squeegee rubber and then I'll start using it for a bit, and it kind of just, it shrinks in. It's been pulled out, being put in a little bit tight, cut it, and then it shrinks back to its normal size, and it's a bit too short for the channel. So I sometimes even give it a bit of a tap about the place, make sure it's sitting in there nice and free and it's not going to shrink after I cut it down. And yeah, I find using the rounded corner of my bucket is good for doing the angle cut. And I use the straight side of my bucket when I'm cutting off the 90-degree cut. So I just tuck the razor blade away, belt it up. I've done the right hand side here on the tops and gone along, done the tops here on the left and in front of you. As I was coming back, I've wet up where the fingerprints are so they have some dwell time. Come back along, do the bottoms here. Then I'll pick up my pole, still got the squeegee on it, so I'll do the tops, come back along, do the bottoms. And yeah, you would have seen there I re-wet my washer as I got there. But yeah, when you're washing, the last window your washer's had the least amount of water on it at that point. It's had the water pushed out of it. So the last window you wet up is always going to be the first window to dry out. So it's a good place to start. So, but it's early in the morning, which means the window's going to stay wet for a lot longer. So I can start on the right hand side here, bring the water down, work to the left rather than working to the left, which would have been the last top that I'd wet up. Come back along, get these bottom halves done. Gosh, I shouldn't have started narrating after eating my meal, but hit the pause button when need and then re-record. So yeah, in my high-vis, need to have my high-vis when I do this job. I'm allowed to just wear my work uniform. Good regular job though. I can do this with my eyes closed nowadays. Do it blindfolded. I like having a bit of a commercial base, and then I can charge what I want to charge when it comes to my residential quotes and that. So those windows there I was just showing are still wet after about 45 minutes of having sprayed it, because there's such a large volume of water and soap going onto them. And we're at the Friendly Grocer. It's a pretty new account, I've had this for the last few weeks. But been nice, it's a nice job. Well, it's just been built with centre, so it's nice, clean frames, clean glass. Frames aren't nicked, didn't go to cut my rubber blades. There was a bit of cement on there, but I razor bladed that off it last week. I was planning on get around onto doing a video on using razor blades. I got the footage for it, so it will come, it will come. So yeah, you'll notice on this job that I open the doors for the customers as they come in and out. Let's try and make sure I keep the businesses happy. Like, my clients happy by looking after their clients, and the happier my clients are, the more regularly I'm going to be getting paid on time, and the less dramas there's going to be for me. The more value I provide, the more smoothly my work flows. The sun's been proper out the last few days. I can feel it, I can proper feel it on the back of my shoulders and my neck. It's probably time to start wearing a hat that's a bit more protective, actually, especially after having shaved my hair off for the most part. I was doing my fire test yesterday, my firefighting test, and yeah, it was like you're in full firefighting uniform with gas tank on and helmet on, and it's like wearing a quilt. Like, it's proper hot. It was about 10:15 when we started doing it. It was only about it took me 13.5 minutes, so it was 15-minute time test, but it had to be finished in less than 15 minutes. So it was like I was doing laps of jerry cans and step ups of jerry cans and dragging hoses connected to a reel so that it gives it resistance. I'm doing some lifts and doing some weights and showing that you're fit and healthy enough to do it, and that you'd be able to get up the stairs in a high-rise building and all of that in a fire and in an emergency. That was good fun. So, minute's drive and off to the next job. The little windows with the wagtail. Takes a little bit of practice to get used to doing the swivel on the small windows, opposed to just doing the old tap and pull. I'd say it's more reliable, like getting better results, more reliable, and especially on some frames, like these particular frames. But the wooden older frames are just, the rubber blade doesn't always sit up against the top of it as well, and you don't always get as good a result doing a straight pull on it. So it's good to be able to do both and have both tricks up your sleeve. Yeah, unfortunately this business is not going to be operating anymore, so it's the last time I was doing this job. But they come and they go. That's just the way it is. Another day, another dollar with a different job. So yeah, finished this job, and that was my 3 commercial jobs for the morning. And then go off to a residential job that was booked in, and then we go do my quote. Don't know, should I have written a script? Nah, we'll think of something to keep talking for the rest of it. Bit of a long video trying to show, the actual day. The day in the life. I suppose technically I should have sent it to Tim, being the challenge that it was, but gosh, I ended up with like 2 hours of actual footage, having just recorded this and that, and recharging my battery in between trips.
Get the shorts and build
on my Australian internet, I'm not uploading 2 hours worth of video.
Off to a small residential job.
That just wasn't going to happen.
Right, so we had one window there.
And yeah, I guess I could have. I'm not even sure how I would have actually sent a 2-hour video to Tim, anyways, other than maybe just doing it privately onto YouTube or Dropbox or Google Drive and then giving him access to it. But yeah, this was just, I just quickly showed for Windows, for size of the job. I don't feel overly comfortable just recording what I'm doing when I'm at residential jobs. But yeah, it wasn't a bad job. Fair bit of frames in it actually, but you know, fair few windows.
Just outside this frame, so I'm not sure if I incorporated it, but these windows.
Good old hourly pay anyways.
Old bathroom window, shower window, and this set of windows.
That was it. And on for the next drive. It was a pretty big drive. And yeah, won my quote, got to do it then and there, as intended. In my book of intention. It's a diary, so I can write down on the specific day what I'm going to be doing, and I just write down a little thank you, and just, yeah, let the universe know my intent for the day. And it might sound fairy tale like, but it really does just work really well. It was pretty hot, pretty windy by the time I was doing this job. So yeah, these windows, they're all filthy too. So I ended up having to scrub them a few times. And the insides of the tracks, they were like, you could grow a garden in them. But yeah, I should do a video on doing tracks as well, I guess. But you just want a track brush, nice stiff. Just Google track brush and get a really good quality vacuum cleaner. And then I get rubber pipe joiners from hardware, and I put that over the end of my vacuum cleaner. And then that'll squeeze down into the track and just give you that little bit of extra suction when you need it. What I'll also do sometimes is I'll get my pump sprayer and I have a wet vac. So I'll spray the water into the track as I vacuum it, and it just helps pull everything out of the track and up in. I mean, if you use some degreaser and stuff like that, you know, it's going to work even better. So this job I just gave them my $100 minimum quote. It's just the bottom floor there, so there's them 3 windows. There's a small bathroom, small toilet window, and another window a bit smaller than them windows next to the main entrance. There was a guy there, a carpet cleaning guy. He came just after I was doing the quote, so I quickly got the insides done and then done the outsides. Yeah, the carpet cleaner, he was a nice guy, and he grabbed a bunch of business cards off for me. He said he often has people asking him about window cleaning, so that's cool. Might end up getting a few more jobs through it. And then, yeah, I finished this job and I drove back home. I went past Barra Takeaway, which is one of my other commercial jobs that I do each week. I didn't have the window clean on, I was hungry, so I went in there, got myself a kebab, and like, whoa, they made it massive. It took me 2 takes to actually eat the thing. And I couldn't get through the chips they gave me. It's like small chips, and they give me this like massive thing wrapped in paper of just massive amounts of chips. It's good doing business with businesses that you like. You look after them, they look after you. So yeah, no, all in all, it was a good day. Had fun. Oh, I actually really do enjoy my work. I enjoy it a lot. I like going out there and getting things done and being productive. When you're flat out for ages, you know, it gets tiring, but yeah, for the most part, as long as I keep that work-life balance going, I really enjoy my work. Alright, peace and love, world.
I open my eyes, it's cold.
Oh yeah, that's the trip back home. And there's my kebab.